Hey guys, what's up? I just wanted to make a quick video for the new people in the league. If you've played in this last year, you don't have to worry about this at all. This is really just for the new folks. Um, it seems many of you have already sort of got the hang of how this works and how you need to type in who to lock, and that's great. There are just a few, I guess, who either may not be keeping up on it or who may not fully understand how it works. So I wanted to make this quick video to clarify even more, if as much as I can, for you on how this works. Okay, um, you have to tell me who to lock in order to score points for this league. Okay, that's what the chat channels are for. You need to type that in there, lock so and so, if you want those points to count. If we go to a team page here, it's not it's not enough to just put a guy in your starting lineup and then just assume he's going to be locked in for you. Okay, those are not what these are for. You Again, you can just ignore the starters and bench spots. Those are for me. Anybody that you don't lock in for the day, any scores you don't want locked in, I have to basically go in and I have to bench all those guys on your team page. That's what the bench spots are for. Okay, the starter spots are for the opposite. If you have a guy, whether he was in a starting spot or a bench spot, it doesn't matter. If you want a guy locked in and you communicate that to me in the chat, that's when I go in and actually move that guy to one of your starting spots in order for it to count on your scoring on the scoring page. Okay. For example, this is mine. I locked in Siakam last night. It was my first lock of the week. So if we go to Wednesday, yesterday, I had a handful of these guys in my head. They just happened to be in my starting spots, my starting lineup. I didn't put them there. That's just how it happens to be. Okay. The only one I wanted locked in from last night was Siakam. So I had to go in and I had to bench all the guys in these starting spots. So those scores don't count for me. And I kept Siakam in there as 23.2. And then that's the only one that's counting for me when you go over to the scoring page. Right here, C23. And that's it. That's all I have so far for the week because I've locked in one guy. Okay. Um, you can ignore these for the most part. They're for me to use. You just assume that anybody who's playing that isn't in an IR spot can be locked in for you. But again, you don't need to move them back and forth from starter to bench. You don't need to do that at all. All you have to do is type in the chat who to lock, and then I can take care of the rest. And then I transfer it over to the Google Sheet, as you can see here, which fills out gradually throughout the week. Okay. Um, Hopefully that's clear enough. I mean, we had a few missed opportunities this week already. Like Tatum went off on Tuesday night, and only three of the four teams who own Tatum locked him in. I don't know what the fourth team was doing. If I mean, they missed out on a huge score from Tatum. So either they just weren't keeping up, or again, maybe they didn't quite understand how this works. So it's just a missed opportunity there. There were a few others. And that's kind of why I'm making this video, because like there's already some new guys who are sort of missing out on some huge scores in just the first two nights. So I want to make sure you guys are all on the same page and know how this works here. You look at your guys, you see how they did, and you just tell me lock so and so. And if you go into your own chat channel now, like you can see that the other teams are doing that, and they're doing exactly what they're supposed to do. All right. So again, a lot of you already understand how this works. There just might be a couple of you who may not, and so that's what this is for. Right along with that, you can do this, but you don't have to. When you lock someone in, um, let's see, I found one. You don't have to tell me what position to lock him into. Right here, like locking Cam Thomas at guard. You can do that, but don't feel like you have to. I'm going to put him in there, and if he's guard forward eligible, it doesn't matter right now at the beginning of the week. He can move around for you later. So if we put him into a guard spot now, and your next two locks come in and they're both guard only, I'll just move Cam down to a forward position because he's forward eligible, and I'll lock those other two guards into the two guard spots for you. All right. Again, you can tell me, it's fine. It's not hurting anything, but don't feel like you have to do that at all. Communicating locks is number one. That's big. The only night, again, you don't have to do it is Sunday night because it's the last night of the week. So I know who you're going to lock in. It's going to be the highest scores from that day, and that'll fill in your remaining spots. So you don't have to tell me those. I'll do that for you. The rest of the week, the other 6 days, you have to lock. You have to tell me who to lock in. Got it? Um, the lock deadline last night was 5:59 p.m. Central Time, I believe. It's the same tonight. I think there's a 6 o'clock game tonight. Um, keep up on that yourself. I'm not going to be reminding you of when the lock deadline time is each day. I do know that we got the weekend coming up and there are some earlier games. I think Sunday or Saturday there's a 4 p.m. Central game, Central Time. So you'll have to make sure you get those any locks in from Friday night done before that Saturday game starts. Sunday there's an even earlier game. A lot of times I try and set or send out a reminder in the general chat to all of you on the weekends when there's those early games. Every weekend has early games, so you just have to get used to that. You just have to look at the NBA schedule and see when the earliest game is, and that's when your deadline is. Okay, so keep that in mind too. That's it. Again, this is just for the new guys, just to hammer this in on how this works. Okay, communication, communication, communication in the chats. That's the important part you need to worry about in order to score in this league. Okay? If you have more questions, reach out to me. Hopefully, this is clear enough for all of you. And you can still have a good week. Even if you missed out on a couple of good scores, you still got some days left to get some good scores in. So, thanks, guys. See ya.